Hi everybody, thank you for stopping to my channel. Let us listen together. Introduction. Uh, Today I'd like to talk about the Ecumenism and the Catholicism. Okay, so it is very important to know when it starts and what's going on. Okay, so I have this information I just received, so I'll share it with you. Okay. And I shared it before, behind me, I told you about different scriptures. So, as it says over here, we have noted that the ecumenical movement plays a key role in forming the Antichrist world religion, which will be a paganized Christianity such as was developed under Constantine and became Roman Catholicism. Sometimes I have a little hard time to pronounce it. Okay. It is therefore not surprising that behind the scenes, the Catholic Church has been pushing ecumenism for years. Ecumenism. Okay, there. So sometimes I double pronunciation. It is not only drawing the separate brothers of Protestant back into the whole of the fold, but uniting all religious under Rome, as Revelation 17 indicates. Catholic popes have been the leaders of worldwide ecumenism. As such, they present an altogether different picture from the inflexible dogmatic determined to convert the world to Catholicism, okay, that most people imagine a pope to personify. On the contrary, John Paul II has taken the initiative in contacting leaders of the world religions, accept them as working towards the same goal as social justice, ecological wholeness, and world peace, suggests that their prayers are effective as those of Catholics, and has not attempted to convert any of them. He seems concerned to be acknowledged as the spiritual leader of the world's religion, uniting for peace. Such a stance on the part of the Pope is entirely consistent with the religion's system he represents. As we document in the Whatever Happened to Heaven, Catholicism was formed through a union of Christianity and paganism, and had always adapted itself to whatever religion it Christianized. Christianized. Hattai, for example, is said to be 85%. I don't know where the place is. I should have a look at the map where it is. Hattai or Haiti. Actually, Haiti, I think they pronounce it. For example, is said to be 85% Catholics and 110% Vodou. Every voodoo ceremony begins with Catholic prayers. Likewise, the deadly spirits cult of Santeria is a blend of African witchcraft and Catholicism carried on in the name of saints who front the African gods. I didn't even know that. So I'm telling you this, I'm reading this because it's something new to me, because like I said, I'm not a person that study in history that deep. In Rio de Janeiro, Catholic faithful visit cemeteries to petition the spirits of their ancestors along with the Catholic saints, and etc., etc. Well, I do know something like this is happening with the Mormons. When they go to their temple and they baptize people, they have a picture of the deceased, and they're praying, and sometimes a spirit, is a demon of course, is personified themselves in that particular person. So they believe that they have access to their, the ancestor, and so they are being, so they baptize themselves for their ancestor. Well, that is not biblical, okay? But they're doing that. I did mention that to some of the Mormons I talked to, and they just ignore me. And of course, not being a Mormon, I cannot go in that far to see what's going on, okay, when somebody gets baptized. You have to be a Mormon. Everything is secret or sacred. So, but the beautiful part is, God is open. Everybody who really, wants to know God can know God. And you don't have to go to a secret or sacred place to experience that. You can experience, I did myself, I experienced, when I was home, I prayed, what we call a sinner's prayer, and asked and appropriate Jesus Christ as my Savior. I'm admitting that I'm a lost sinner, and I knew that time that the Spirit came in me, that I became a believer, only by the power of God. And I think about a few weeks ago, I did mention to you about Romans 1:16, the power of the gospel. Remember that one? So if you don't remember, I have still some scriptures over here. So please look it up, and you will see what I'm trying to get across. Okay, it's very, very important. Okay, now Catholicism, paganized Christianity, was developed by Constantine to unite his emperor or empire. His genius was known, the value of religious concord in bringing political unity. He seemed to have been the first to understand the necessity of the Ecumenism, okay, in arriving at such harmony. Corbucci, however you pronounce it, apparently had the same insight, and like Constantine, found a willing partner in the Roman pontiff. John Paul II traveled the world to promote Catholicism, a traditional tolerance of pagan religions. At the University of Calcutta and New Delhi, in his 1986 visit to India, the Pope told huge Hindu audience that he had not come there to to teach them anything, but to learn from their rich spiritual heritage. As worldwide ecumenism diplomat at large, he went on to declare what he says: India's mission is crucial because of her intuition of the spiritual nature of man. Indeed, India's greatest contribution to the world can be to offer it a spiritual vision of man. And the world does well to attend willingly to this ancient wisdom and into to find enrichment of human living. Here goes again, paganism, okay, but that is what he believes. Now, such praise of Hinduism by a leader of world Christendom seems inconceivable. Yet, such tolerant acceptance of all religions is exactly what will be required to unite mankind under the Antichrist. We cannot stop the ecumenical movement, but we must rescue as many individuals as possible before it is too late. The Pope has separately made his intention clear, speaking in Geneva, Switzerland, to leaders of the World Council of Churches representing 400 million Protestants worldwide. John Paul II declared, "From the beginning of my ministry as Bishop of Rome, I have insisted that the engagement of the Catholic Church in the ecumenical movement is irreversible." Can you imagine? It's irreversible. It's a very strong statement, folks. The Pope also made it clear that there can never be any compromise on the issue of papal authority. Wow. Yet, this fact seems not to deter Protestant participation in the Pope's ecumenical movement, nor has it diminished the praise heaped upon him, even by prominent evangelicals, for his spiritual and moral leadership. That's a crying shame, folks. I'll go a little bit further later on, okay? John Paul II openly promotes New Age pantheistic ideas. Although the New Age movement has been thoroughly exposed by a number of writers, its basic tenets continue to gain an ever wider acceptance, even among evangelicals, and will play an important role for the Antichrist. As early as 1961, James McCord, I think so the name, president of the Princeton Theological Seminary, urged Christians to accept as a gift from God the New Age, with its accompanying syncretization of Christianity and other religions. McCord was pleased to note that our most widely read historian Arnold Toynbee is an apostle of an amalgam of Christianity and I cannot how to pronounce the word, but the Mayanean Buddhism. Wow. I've heard it before, but I never really studied in depth, okay? So that's why I'm sharing with you. Sometimes it's hard for me to pronounce certain words because I'm not used to it. I'll be honest to you. The energetic Pope, in several steps ahead of both McCord and Toynbee in his personal diplomacy with Hindus, Buddhism, Muslim, and the adherents of many other religions, nor was he out of line with such New Age event as the World Instant of Cooperation and Harmonic Converses. Okay? As we have earlier pointed out, John Paul II openly promotes the same belief that united prayer for peace of every kind, from yoga to witchcraft, rituals, are release powerful spiritual energies to heal our planet. The Roman Catholic Church, like the World Council of Churches, has been promoting global cooperation among all religions for many years. Toynbee pensioned for a Buddhist-Christian partnership is shared by many prominent religious leaders. Consider the following from the new work, Episcopalian Bishop John S. Spong. Look what he says over here. In the fall of 1988, I worshiped God in a Buddhist temple, and the smell of the incense filled the air. I knelt before 3 images of the Buddha, feeling that the smoke could carry my prayer heavenwards. It was for me a holy moment, for I was certain that I was kneeling on holy ground. I will not make any further attempt to convert the Buddhist, the Jew, the Hindu, or the Muslim. I am content to learn from them and to walk with them side by side towards the God who lives. I believe beyond the images that bind us. Wow. So here, beyond the images that bind and blind us, that's what he says. Wow. Can you imagine that, what a statement is? And this is true about spiritual warfare. And you know, you can read it in Ephesians 6, right? Where Paul mentioned that we don't fight against flesh and blood, but about spiritual warfare, about spiritual things. And here, I agree what he's saying. Okay, that there are certain spirits. Okay, they give you the power and the desire. Okay, and yet the Bible mentions to you, you have to discern the difference. And of course, folks, to be a Christian, a true Christian is monotheistic. We are not polytheistic. Whereas we don't believe in more than one God. The Bible says, you can read it again in Isaiah 43, 44, and 45, because I like those scriptures. Very often in all those scriptures, God mentioned one thing. I'm God. There is no God before me and no God after me. So that's why we believe that the Bible, the God of the Bible is eternal. God is spirit. Remember that? God is not a spirit. God is spirit. Okay? Eternal. No beginning, no ending. And the Bible in Revelation even says, mentions the word Alpha and Omega. So folks, it's up to you what you want to believe. Like I told you before. And okay, so here it says, he will continue, His Holiness the Dalai Lama of the Buddhists, okay, has long been the Pope's trusted friend and has been well received by Roman Catholic leaders among the world. In 1979, at the start of the first U.S. tour to Tibetan, okay, God's King in Exile was faded at, was the meeting, okay, at the Roman Catholic's New York City landmark, St. Patrick's Cathedral, where he participated in a prayer service described by the Times magazine as an extraordinary interreligious festival. New York's Terence Cardinal Cook was the host. The Ayama Dalai Lama, who declared that all the world's major religions are basically the same, was giving a standing ovation by the overflow crowd of nearly 5,000, said Cardinal Cook, who shared his sanctuary with a rabbi and a Protestant minister as well as his Buddhist guests. This is one of the dramatic movements of the spirit in our time. We make each other welcome in our churches, temples, and synagogues. The question is, which spirit? So I will stop right now and let you think about what I just read. I apologize for certain things I don't quite really know how to pronounce it because I'm not used to it. But you know what I'm talking about, certain names. But here comes the question, which spirit? And that is true, like I said before, the enemy is, Satan is a created being. And of course he fell because he wanted to be like God. And that's why the Bible mentioned in Ezekiel 28 and 27, 28 that iniquity was found in Lucifer. And of course in Isaiah 14 when he said, I will, 5 times. So here he wants to be like God, or be at least at the throne of God, or be like, or on the same level with God, and even be part of the council of God. And so this is one of the reasons God kicked them out, so to speak, okay? And it's impossible. So here we have now the Roman Catholic Church, what's well known, but a lot of people don't know. I knew this, but I didn't really know about how it all worked together, because I did ask people and found I get an answer. Why, but now by reading the first part, how the Pope, okay, went to different countries and they have same prayer with the same different God, so to speak, and the same thing what they do, maybe you do know, besides the Mormons, the Mason does the same thing. Did you know that? The Mason does the same thing. If you become a Mason, and you go up higher and higher the ladder up, they do the same thing. They have the prayer meeting at the temple or on an altar, all different religions. And it's a no-no. Okay? So, let me stop right now. I would say then, thank you for stopping by, and if you like, if you get anything out of my my video, give me the thumb up, and if you like to subscribe, you know what to do. Ring the notification bell. Now I will say then, until next time, I will finish this. Okay? God bless you. Bye-bye now.